Lovely to be back here. It doesn't seem that long ago that we were here. Is there any new people that we haven't seen before?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Well, you're very welcome. It's all good. It's quite a local one for us, isn't it?
Extremely.
Just from down the road in Frome. It's all happening in Frome. Except there's no snow. Like, it's trying very hard to snow here, isn't it? So anything could happen. We are going to do a song for you now called Jacket So Blue, and this is a song which my sister found for me in a little pub in Donegal, and she rang me up after she heard it and she says, "It's this great song and it's all about, it's a very rare song and you need to sing it." And I said, "Really?" And she says, "Well, it's strange because it's all about a woman trying to lead a man astray, and it doesn't usually happen in them old songs." And I was thinking,
It does.
yeah. So there you go. But we decided to do it anyway. I'll take a wee bit less of myself in the monitor, believe it or not, Sam. I will. It's not often I ask for less of myself. There you go. but for the West Indies or some foreign land. There's one man amongst them I wish I never knew. He's my bonny, bonny sailor with a jacket so blue. Well, the first time that I saw the love, he was spyglass in his hand. I went to talk to him, but he would not stand. I went to talk to him, but from me he flew. And my heart it went along, and his jacket so blue. Well, says I'm no sailor, I'm by your discharge, free from sailing, I'll set you at large. Free from the man of war of your would be true, and I'd never leave the stain on your jacket so blue. Well, says I'm noble lady, who by my discharge free me from sailing and set me at large. You free me from the man of war, my heart would be true. Ah, but then what would my own love, this Scotch lass do? For I have a lassie in my own country, and I would not select her for her poverty. If I was to slide her, then my heart would only true, for she never left a stain on my jacket so blue. So I talked to Dublin to an artist of skill, have my last picture drawn it in its skull. They'll place it in the chamber quite close to my view, and they'll say I loved a sailor with a heart that was true. Very much. I don't seem to have any guitar in my monitor. Imagine I'm asking for some of that.
I'll have a bit more as well.
Oh, dear. So, Sam's got some great facts for you tonight. If you remember last time, he's been,
My first fact is my belt isn't working very well.
okay. But anyway, we'll get a fact or two or three maybe after a bit. We're going to do a song for you now called Shotgun Down the Avalanche. It's a Sean Colvin song, so I hope you like what we've done with it. Ooh, fact coming now?
No facts, just you're unbelievably quiet. It's quite unsettling, actually. Feel free to cough and shuffle, anything, you know. Oh, there we go. Cue coughing.
I'm riding shotgun to live, and I just become a beacon for your soul. Past is stronger than my will to forgive you, myself. Well, I don't know. I'm riding shotgun down the avalanche. Tumbling and falling down the avalanche. So be quiet tonight. Be sure to step lightly on this mountain of dew, falling snow. Diamond rings of my voice into the void. You've left me nowhere to go. You've left me nowhere to go. You've left me nowhere to go. Might need a bit more of the guitar and a bit more keyboard as well. Sorry. So we thought we would do this song tonight in anticipation that there may be snow tomorrow morning. It's a song called "The Snows They Melt the Soonest." And when we recorded this song, we recorded it with the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra. So you're going to have to try and imagine that they're behind us. Fill in the blanks. Anyway, we called them up to see if they would come along tonight, and they weren't so bad. But then the snow was forecast, so they stayed where they were at. The snows they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing, and the corn it ripens fastest when the frosts are settling in. And when the young man tells me that my face he'll soon forget, before we part, I'll wager Christ's fate to follow yet. And the snows they melt the soonest when the winds begin to sing, and the swallows fly without a thought as long as it is spring. And when spring goes and winter blows, my love, and you'll be free for all your pride to follow me across the raging bay. Snows they melt the soonest when the winds begin to sing, and the bee that flew when summer shone in winter cannot sting. I've seen the young man's eyes the soonest when the wind begins to say. We're going to do a song while Sam, because it's such a, it's really tricky getting up to walk from there to there. So while he's at the keyboard, he might as well just stay for another one. All right, Sam. Yeah, especially when he's lost his belt. So, you know.
It's just lost its purpose.
We're going to do a song called Garden Valley for you now, and would you like that one? Good. Good. I like this one too. We also recorded this with an orchestra on our album version, but again, you know the score now. They're not here. Score. Sorry, I've never done that before in my life. Okay, it sounded like I had done that before. It just popped into my head. So this song, anyway, it's a really beautiful song written by Dougie McLean. But we were performing it a couple of months ago, and after we had finished doing the song, the two of us felt a little bit choked up. And afterwards, I said, Sam, what happened in that song? And we both realised that we were getting a bit emotional because it was just as the whole refugee crisis had just come on the news, and even though the song wasn't written about this, you'd think it was. So we should really think of them tonight. This is really not my home. Where are you, my lovely Johnny? I'm afraid and all alone, and there's no peace for me. I'm sitting in a stranger's room, playing at the stranger's table, shining empty like the moon, and there's no peace for me. And in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about a garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out across the bay, distant and so far away, and there's no peace for me. I'm blinded by your city lights, wander through these fearful places, colors fade to black and white, and there's no peace for me. And these are not the friends I know, these are not the smiling faces in a desert that no one should know. There's no peace for me. And in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about a garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out across the bay, for me.
So we were in Dorset, aren't we? Just checking. Have to check these things sometimes. We were in Somerset not long ago. I got heckled on stage quite badly and told to sit down and let the lady sing. So I had, prior to that, been slagging off Trowbridge. So my only conclusion was that the lady had come from Trowbridge. She was heavily drunk as well, so I mean, pretty much add those two things together. She definitely came from Trowbridge. I'm joking, obviously. I had been telling my facts. I was going to say jokes then, I don't tell jokes. But I've been telling my facts. We've taken our children to Dartmoor to spend half term with my family. And part of that trip involved going into Plymouth to the aquarium. Sorry, I've just got one eye on my guitar tuner. Going to the aquarium to look at the fishes in Plymouth, which is good fun. And then we took them on one of the river cruises up to look at the Naval dockyard. This is a very boring family story for you, I'm ever so sorry. There's a fact in there, wait for it. So we're there bracing the early February winds and biting cold, listening to the skipper of the sightseeing boat telling us that it's the coldest polar vortex they've had in years, and that the visibility is further than he's known for 10 years, something like 100 miles straight. And we're driving past the old Royal William Yard in Plymouth, which is the old 19th century naval yard, where they had all the brewery and they had the barrels of gunpowder and all that kind of stuff. And he was telling us about the naval. This sounds dreadfully boring, doesn't it? I'm ever so sorry. It was more upbeat when I told it last week, wasn't it? Can you do like saloon piano? No, that's it makes it sound like something bad's going to happen. So, tell me about the naval rum rations, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, but I was not so familiar with. He said that it was against the law to not drink your naval rum ration, so you had half an hour window from 10 till 10:30 in the morning to drink your naval rum ration if you were in the Navy, which was half a pint of strong naval rum, which isn't, it's not a mean feat at 10:30 in the morning, let's face it. And he said that wasn't the half of it. He said because they couldn't carry safe drinking water on board ships, everyone drank, they had a beer ration as well. They all had to drink hugely strong beer, 15 pints a day. And if they didn't drink their 15 pints, they got flogged. So every single person in the Navy was totally hammered all the time. And then the guy on the ship says there was some professor drew a chart of the growth of the British Empire and the increase in the rum and beer rations, and they correlated perfectly until they discovered how to carry water safely on board the ships, and it just dropped off, and that's when we started losing everything. I kid you not. So that was my most interesting thing I've learned over the past couple of weeks, although I highly recommend the sightseeing trip on board Spirit of Plymouth up the Tamar, because your man told it an awful lot funnier than I did. And but yeah, he did tell us some pretty cool stuff. We were driving past this particular boat, sailing, he says, correcting himself, sailing past a particular Royal Naval vessel. I'm not going to say what it was because it's dreadfully ignorant of me. And it had, it looked like an icebreaker type thing, a big reconnaissance vehicle. And it had these, almost like James Bond, 2 speedboats on the back of its deck. They were extraordinarily long, sleek, with no doors and blacked out windows, and they had these jet engines on the back. And he said, we've been sailing up and down here for a couple of months now, and none of us have any idea what these boats are. And by the time we did the hour trip and came back again, someone on board obviously knew what they were and had a word with the captain. He says, we can come back and say, they're automatic drone ships. So they have these amazing drone ships that they sail out without anyone on board. I have no idea what for. Anyway, I thought it was fascinating, but I'm just wasting time here. I think we should probably do another song.
You're making him far too comfortable, that's the problem.
Don't clap, just encourage me.
Anyway, basically Sam really enjoyed his half-term trip down to Devon. Didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. And while that was all happening, me and the children were on the lower deck, freezing, just huddling together. So there you go.
Well, I did it for them, but they weren't that interested.
So anyway, we're going to move on now. We'll do another song for you, and this is a song called Eerie Suicide Story, and it's a song in Irish, all about, funny enough, a man getting very, very drunk and going along to this woman's house and knocking her door to wake her up in the middle of the night because he wants to talk to her about the idea of marrying her daughter. So there you go. Didn't go very well, I don't think. And this is the song that I dread most. I have to play the whistle. I'm not used to just doing it on my own. So I'm not.
You're fine.
Eerie is a story matter well to die. Moscow, the Doris song is like flash and tea. Top Virgil in Nega, first shot of Brigady. It's the Duke on night, you team to play for Danny. England turn out to leave yours like no nothing. Mona, go donuts, like I could mahid. Smake, got to know that, like I could look and see. It's got any ever gonna walk out for my feet. Not even knowing Leia Iriskala is a Leia Serisha Viva Nation to Isma Idilogra is a Wado Piru Besanigala. Iris is a story, Marvel to the Oscar and Doris song is like flash and tea. The Virgil in Lega, first shot of Brady. It's the Duke on the beauty to pay for Danny. So, would you all sing along? Yes. You will. There's a very nice energy coming from you, and I feel like that if I give you half a chance, you would definitely sing along. So this is a song called Bright Morning Star, and the last line of every verse is very simple and it's repeated. It's just day is breaking in my soul. Or if you're from here, it's day is breaking in my soul.
That is not how people talk.
In my head it does sound like that. It probably didn't come out the way I'm thinking it should have. But I'm quite happy. Whatever way you want to sing it, just sing it, okay? It'll be alright. And if you feel like you're coming on great with the day is breaking in my soul, you can join in the verses, because there's like 3 lines that are just repeated. So it's very straightforward. So you got it now. And Sam does not have a vocal mic, and there is a reason for that. Stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning star are rising. Day is breaking in my soul. A lullaby for you now. This is a song from Tinkerbell 3. It's a song which I recorded for Tinkerbell a few years ago, and I'm not allowed to sing it anymore. Maybe you remember me telling you the last time I was here that we've got a daughter who's 5 and she hates this song so much because well, when I recorded it, I was pregnant with her and I went to Abbey Road and recorded with an orchestra, and it was a very 98-piece orchestra. It was amazing, and I thought, you know, we had this lovely shared experience, and that maybe when she was born she might remember back, and that she would be like, oh yes, that's that song. And so every night, as part of her bedtime routine, I would sing the song for her, and she would get fed, bathed, and then sung too, and then put down in her cot. And it was all going really well until she turned about 9 months old. And then she let me know how much she hated the song. 3 consecutive nights. The first night it was hand over the mouth. Second night it was shaking the head, like very distressed. And then the third night it was just wailing until I stopped singing. So it's kind of really affected her, not in the way I had hoped. So it's a great pleasure to sing you this song. In fact, just while I'm on the topic of her, she said to me the other night I was reading her Rapunzel before she went to sleep. I know, Sleeping Beauty, and there was it was an old book and it had the old pictures in it, you know, and the first picture was of the king and queen and a little crib with this baby with a little crown on its head, and she put her hand up, she went, stop right there. And I said, what? She goes, why did you not put a crown on my head when I was born? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, if you had only just thought about putting a crown on my head, I would be a real life princess. And she said, Daddy didn't even think about it. So there you go. So anyway, isn't it? I must go and write that down because that's something to remind her of. So this song's called Come Flying With Me. My true love's hair, her lips are like a rose so fair. She's got the sweetest face and the gentlest hands, and I love the ground whereon she stands, and I love my love. And well she knows I love the ground whereon she goes, and I wish the day would come when she and I can be as one. Black is the color of my true love's hair, and her lips are like a rose so fair. She's got the sweetest face and the gentlest hands, great if you would join me for this next song. This is a song called There Were Roses. And, oh good, we have to sing along now. This song, I recorded it many years ago now, and I recorded it initially for, Billy Conley got in touch to ask me to record it for his tour around England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland. And when he reached Belfast, he wanted the song to be played over when he was walking around some of the troubled areas. And at the time, I didn't really realise how important this song was going to become. I think the night that it went out on the TV, the BBC were inundated with calls wondering about the song. So it's a really important song, but more importantly, it's a true story, and it's all about two best friends, a Protestant and a Catholic, who both get murdered in the 70s during the Troubles. And the people from both sides of the community came together to say they wanted no more bloodshed, and apparently they laid so many roses in the spots where the lads were murdered that the smell of roses filled the air for weeks and weeks, and it was a really overpowering smell in the air. So but I think it's a really important song to keep singing, because there's some terrible things happening in the world at the minute, and it's a very poignant song. My song for you this evening, it's not to make you sad, nor for adding to the sorrow of our troubled northern land. But lately I've been thinking, and it just won't leave my mind. I'll tell you about two friends one time who were both good friends of mine. Isaac, he was Protestant, and Sean was Catholic born, but it never made a difference, for their friendship, it was strong. And sometimes in the evening, when they heard the sound of drums, they said it won't divide us, we will always be as one. There were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. It was on a Sunday morning when the awful news came around. Another killing had been done just outside Newry town. We knew that Isaac danced stop there, we knew he liked the band. But when we heard that he was dead, we just could not understand. Now fear it filled the countryside, and there was fear in every home, when late at night a car came prowling down the Ryan Road. A Catholic would be killed tonight to even up the score. Oh Christ, it's young MacDonald they have taken from the door. There were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. and another eye for another eye, till everyone is blamed. Well, I don't know where the moral is, or where this song should end, but I wonder just how many wars are fought between good friends. And those that gave the orders are not the ones to die. It's Scott and young MacDonald and the likes of you and I. There were roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people run together. There were roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people run together. Like to say anything else, Alex?
I can always speak. I'm not one to avoid speaking. 98.5% of the mass of our solar system is contained in the sun. Oh God, it's South Petherton. They went wild. What's going on across the border? Seriously? Might well maybe we all know that. Whoa, yeah, I knew that. Old news. Wow. Okay, was I here last and talked about, this is an old one, I'm going back now because I'm having a blank moment, about the cuboid poos? You've the one, there we go, so you know that one. Okay, great. See that girl afterwards, if you want to know what I'm talking about. They're cloning an Ice Age lion cub, I read on the news today. Okay, there we go. I know. It's one of my best evenings. This. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm struggling here. Oh, Tyrannosaurus Rex lived closer in history to us today than he did to Stegosaurus. Is that a grumble? Okay. It sounded like a grumble, but then it turned into an appreciative. Oh yes, okay. An agreement. I'm trying to think. I had loads of good ones, didn't I? Mine's gone blank. During the half-time break, that same day that we took the boys and Elizabeth, our daughter, on the trip, Spirit of Plymouth, up to Tamar, because of the polar vortex, I decided I'd take them up onto Dartmoor that night and go stargazing. It's only a short drive from my mum and dad, so we went up onto Peak Hill, which is where I don't know if anyone knows Dartmoor, but Peak Hill is where the old nuclear fallout shelter was for Devonport Dockyard. So it's got this fantastic vantage point about 7 miles away from Plymouth Sound, and you can see all the way into Cornwall and all the way up over the high moors. And the stars were amazing, and the boys just couldn't believe their luck that they weren't going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we were sitting out there in -4 degrees, lying on a thin blanket on a piece of granite, staring at the sky. So I thought it was wonderful. They were like, this is brilliant. You know, one of them's called Noah and one of them's called Colin. And Noah's going, Colin, we're staying up late. And Colin's going, it's too cold. And I was trying to explain to them all sorts of stuff about physics. I was on fire that night, let me just tell you. I had it all down. And I was explaining to them about how gravity is one of the weakest forces there is, and there's very little keeping us on this planet. So when you're lying on your back and you're sort of staring up into space, you could almost be on the side of the planet, you just fall off. Has anyone ever done that before now? I highly recommend it. Find a big open field, go and lie in it, at the stars and try and forget that you're facing upwards. It's brilliant. This is going to go down in infamy, this night. Were you there that night Sam completely lost it on stage and was waffling? Anyway, by explaining this to one of the boys, he freaked out completely and thought he was going to fall off the earth and was holding on to his brother. And I was trying to reassure him with physics, which wasn't working at all. He's only 9 years old, bless him. He's only just learned how to do a joined up K. So me trying to explain to him, it's fine, don't worry, boy. And then trying to explain to to the other one that the light we're seeing from the stars is in some cases hundreds of millions, if not billions of years old, and that we're looking back in time. And then for some reason he misinterpreted and thought there were aliens coming to get us from all the stars. So it went downhill very quickly. But there we go, not many facts, another waffle. But yeah, Cara got to sit down for a bit, so it's not all bad.
I had to pick up the pieces that night when they came home, and they thought that they were falling off the edge of the earth. So we're going to do a song called As I Roved Out for you now. It's one of my favourite folk songs. So I hope you like the version. Lots of people have done this one. Have you got it in the right key? It's not that I don't trust you. Yeah, just checking. As I roved out on a bright May morning to view meadows and flowers gay, whom should I spy but my own true love? As she sat under yon willow tree, I took off my hat and I did salute her. I did salute her most courageously. When she turned around, sure the tears fell from her, saying, false young man, you've deluded me. A diamond ring I owned and I gave to you, a diamond ring to wear on your right hand. What the vows you made, love you went and broke them, and you married the lassie that had the land. It's that time to tell the day I die. When misfortune falls, sure no one can shun it. I was blindfolded, I'll not deny. Now at night when I go to my bed of slumber, the thoughts of my true love run in my mind. When I turned around to embrace my darling, instead of gold, sure it's brass I find. And I wish the Queen would call home her army from the West Indies, America and Spain. I'd every man tears wet and warm, and hope that you and I would meet again. We're just having a conflap. We are going to do a song now for you called Bull Jamie, and
Within the shores of Loftbrown.
Huh?
Within the shores of Loftbrown, and then we're going to do. I think we should do this.
okay, there we go. That was that then. I should have been quicker on the draw there. No, this next song is
It's really short, isn't it?
it's a very short song. It's a song which Sam and I very rarely do live. It's a song called The Shores of Loftbrown from our latest album. And when I was growing up, I grew up with lots of stories from my parents about living wakes, which, so obviously you all know what a wake is. Somebody dies and there's like 2 or 3 days whenever the body is in the home, and lots of the neighbours come to say their goodbye. And it's a great time for the family to kind of grieve. But the living wake was a time many years ago when people were forced to emigrate, and they were all gathered around and they had a bit of a celebration party in the house for the person who was leaving. And so the person was alive, but at some point in the middle of the night when the music was playing and the dancing was happening, they would slip out the back door. And this happened with 2 of my great uncles apparently. They all grew up, my parents, in the middle of this mountain. And one of my great uncles literally did this one night, his living wake, and he never came back again. So I think that's why I'm drawn to these songs with these stories. I think I'm trying to just finish off a story for someone who never returned. So I hope you like this. Sit you down, loyal comrades, sit you down for a while, till I spend my last hours on Aaron's green isle. Come fill up We'd all be wailing it would more sunrise, but I will assist them, please God, if I can, far away from lovely Erin and the shores of Loftbrown. In the incoming morning, I would bid you adieu. Doodly drop, drop, shamble, and sweet Cara Dillon. But no matter what fortune I might make far away, my thoughts shall be with you by night and by day. My thoughts shall be with you while life's course is planned, far away from lovely Erin and the shores of Loftbrown. Thank you very much for coming out tonight, this Friday night. We've had a brilliant time up here and such a beautiful theatre. You're very lucky to have it. And we never take it for granted, you know, when we're standing up here doing what we love most, that you have all made such a big effort to come out. And thank you so much, and keep supporting live music. Thank you. So we're going to finish off with a song called Bold Jamie. Sam and I wrote the song years ago now. We sat down one evening and decided for a bit of crack that we were going to write a song that was like a typical folk song. So it needed to have at least 25, 30 verses to it. And two lovers running away from her father, a possible hanging, a robbery, dogs and guns, the whole thing. And then we were finished. We were quite happy with what we did, and we whittled it down to a handful of verses. So we'll leave you with this, and thank you very much indeed. I've been told to say that the CDs are for sale in the gallery, so if anyone's interested, we'll see you there after a bit. she is by Viper Jamie lies on the stone cold ground, and he knows all the way before the judge he will stand, stealing and nothing but his own true love's hand in the cold hard light. His hands they are bound, handcuffed like a murderer, tied to the ground in the jail of this Jamie. This night I did hear that your lady will hide you, they'll set you clear. But the judge says it's a young girl being tender and you, Jamie is guilty. She will tell the truth in the radiant beauty. Before him did stand, oh I'm happy to see you, my bold Irish lad. But the father preserved Lord, deputy on me, for this man came to bring disgrace to my family, and he stole my only daughter as part of the plan. And if you don't hang him, I will put the The daughter is crying and begging, she fault isn't Jamie's, the blame lies in me. I forced him to leave and run away with me, and I'll die if I can't save my bold Jamie. The Lord he stole all her jewels and her rings, gold watches and armor, all my precious things, and he's cost me a fortune, thousands of pounds, and I'll take the life of Jamie, for I lie in the ground. The Lord I gave him a token of love, that when we parted I'd have them removed, but a true love is token on your right hand, and think of me darling when you're in a foreign land. Da 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 Thank you very much. We were just standing just right behind that little black curtain there. Well, thank you. We thought we'd end with the parting glass, so thank you so much indeed. That's lovely. Well, we'll not ask Sam to tell another fact at this stage of the game. It's a fact. The night is at an end. Of all be drowned. A man may fade and not be slain. A man may court a pretty girl and perhaps be welcome back again. But since it has so modern been, by time to rise and a time to fall, come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Come fill to me the parting glass. Good